Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. Welcome to the match review of our 0-0 draw against Southampton. And let's be serious, this game was really boring. Really boring, nothing really entertaining. And in a way, it's kind of like a relief that we did sign Pulisic today, because that signing does distract us from this really boring draw. But you guys, if you like the videos I bring, smash that like button, help me get more than 500 likes for today's video, and press the bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Lions TV. Starting with the lineup, and it's clear that we are struggling with injuries at the moment. We're struggling with players who aren't fully fit now just yet, and I feel like, we definitely took a toll this Christmas period. Sorry did rotate, but I feel like he could have rotated a bit more. I think guys like Alonso, for example, could definitely have used that break during this period. Now, I'm going to talk about Alonso later on in this review, but I don't know. We look really tired. We look really pedestrian. We're not moving the ball as quickly enough either. And I feel like maybe some of Sarri's team selections could have been a bit more positive from the start, because my match has always been, why not try to win the game in the first 60 minutes and then try and just defend and play on the counter-attack afterwards? Let's be serious. We all feel like Emerson should have got more game time. I have to say, I feel that partnership between Hazard and Alonso is one of the worst in the league. It's really poor. I don't feel like they complement each other as much. We know that Alonso likes to move in field. He likes to attack the box and get in the box as well. But I feel like with Eden Hazard, he needs that outlet out wide on the left that constantly stretches the play, makes those late man runs, takes markers away from Hazard, so Hazard can play in the half space and he can do his thing. And too often I feel like Alonso breaks down the plays way too much. It's either a really poor cross or taking a long shot when he doesn't really have to, or he's taking too much creative freedom by making those runs forward, meaning that Hazard can't be the guy to be in those areas. And I feel like they don't complement each other. Emerson would be the ideal guy. Look how pedestrian and boring our players down that left-hand side. It's very predictable. And since Alonso's been our left-back, we've really had this really monotonous way of playing down the left-hand side. It's like, managers like Conte and Sarri haven't really been able to shake that. And I think it just comes down to the criteria of the players and them not really complementing each other's game. Ross Barkley as well. This game really shows just how important a number 8 is for the system. Now, I remember at the start of the season where people felt like I was a bit too critical of Ross Barkley. They felt like he was creative, he was providing these passes, and he does create that influence in the final third for us. But this game today is the same type of game I've seen Barkley play so often throughout this season. I don't know, I sound very critical, I sound harsh, I know, but in my opinion, I don't really think he's up to our standard. And I think he lets himself down because he plays with a bottleneck himself. He plays with no confidence. We remember Barkley as that player who receives the ball on the half turn and runs to the ball and drives at opponents. He's not doing that anymore. Now, yes, he's had injury problems, but I don't necessarily feel like due to them that's really going to impact his game as much. I personally feel like he's feeling the pressures and responsibilities playing for a club like us, and his game today, another safe performance. Now, the only thing I can say with Barkley is that his passing of the ball has got much quicker, so I will give him credit for that. And personally, I feel like if he's the understudy to Kante, that would be his best role, because I think he's better at supporting the play rather than affecting it and influencing it. And it's a shame that Ruben isn't fully fit and, other players are, injured in those wide areas, because that's the type of position I really want to see Ruben playing in. I want to see Hazard and Ruben connecting with the ball way more. And it does kind of annoy me at times. Normally you want your best players playing together, linking up together. I didn't like that Ruben was isolated from Eden, and I feel like if we want to create more danger and really affect things in that offensive point of view, we have to have our best guys playing together. I need to see Ruben, Emerson and Hazard. That would be the key to really improving this team a lot more. I feel like Sarri needs to take the shackles off this team a bit and really embrace the attacking qualities that this team has. And it's no surprise that when Cesc came on to replace Ross Barkley, we finally started to really cause Southampton some real pressure for the first time during the game, and that was the most disappointing thing. And let's not forget, the number 8 possesses so much responsibility for the team. He has to link the play, facilitate it, provide that threat as well, and really help us improve in the offensive sense. Barkley doesn't do that because he plays with no confidence, and it's no surprise why Cesc was causing things. And it gets you thinking, if Cesc was starting this game originally, I personally feel like we could have got something from this game, and I feel like Sarri in a way might have to slow down this Ross Barkley experiment. Now yes, I understand the injury concerns, and on top of that, it makes it more frustrating now that Williams picked up a slight knock. Let's hope that it's not too serious now. Yes, I know he hasn't been too amazing, but he hasn't been terrible either in my opinion. And for the sake of squad balance and team fitness, etc, etc, it would be good to have William playing, meaning that, let's say that he was still on the field today, Ruben could have been that guy to replace Ross Barkley, and it could have been an entirely different game. But just looking at this team performance, looking at, you know, some of the players not naturally complementing things, and we know how important that left-hand side is in a Sarri system, but when you use Barkley and Alonso down that side, how can you really think that anything's going to happen? It's not. And I think that Sarri needs to embrace really attacking down that side, because that's the most important side for this team. Because otherwise, you know, with guys like Alonso, you know, making runs in field, forcing Hazard out wide, with guys like Barkley always playing the safe sideways and backwards pass, not really affecting the game and turning and running at people, it does make things very slow. And you have to remember that right hand side is purely there to help support the play. So if our left hand side's doing nothing, it's going to make it easier for teams like Southampton to defend off the ball and do their thing. And to be honest, I didn't even feel like Southampton had to play at their best today. I feel like we really underperformed, and I think that Sarri didn't help with his very pragmatic team selection. You know, Southampton using a very similar tactic that we've seen teams like Watford use and Everton, and that's that mid-block tactic. Yes, I say the same thing all the time. You know, managers aren't doing these crazy tactical things every single week. In a way, a lot of them just make their own tactical tweaks based on what previous opponents have done against us. And of course, as you guys already know by now, when you use that mid-block tactic, you're forcing us to play out wide. And on top of that, it looks especially worse today because there weren't really any connections in the game. You know, that left-hand side was non-existent. No threat came from there. And this is why Hazard really wasn't in the game as much, because he was rarely receiving the ball in the dangerous areas that he would like. And once that threat's gone, all you have to do really is just keep your shape compact as a team. If you're going to defend deep beside your goal, you're still keeping your shape. If you're going to move up the field by the halfway line, you're still keeping your shape. And it was even easier for Southampton to keep their shape because they used a man-marking system against us. And the Southampton players really did fulfill their duties today. It was so frustrating. And I mean, until Cesc came on, that was the only period in the game where we were able to keep the ball in the central areas and really try and play between the lines, because before that, nothing was happening. Now, yes, Kante was doing well today, and as I said, we had to be patient with this guy. He's really developing and improving in this role. Hazard did a few dangerous things throughout this game as well, but for me, I think the best player today was David Luiz. A few times he did cover for Rudiger, who made some really annoying small mistakes and some annoying tackles, and Luiz was exceptional, his passing, and there was a particular moment in this game where, you know, he's really running at full speed to cover for Rudiger, who's out of position. He wins the ball nicely. He's got two Southampton players on him. What does he do? Of course he backheels it through them. Such unbelievable world-class play. And that's the type of football I love to see. And this is why I'm always going to like players like David Luiz, because I really appreciate that style of player that has the confidence to really express himself in a game and really just show off their technical abilities. Still, would I say that this is further proof that Sarri ball isn't working? Of course not. Let's be serious. Guys like Cover weren't playing today. We never had Pedro as well. It could have been completely different. Imagine if Willie never got that injury. It could have been Ruben coming on, playing as a number 8, linking up with Eden Hazard, helping Hazard really affect the game even more. So many ifs and buts. But the main thing on my mind is that I feel like it purely comes down to the players at our disposal. I think that, of course, injury didn't help us already, but some of the players that Sarri was forced to rely upon just aren't up to it. I think as the future goes on, I don't think we can see guys like Alonso and Barkley here for long. I feel with the long contracts that both players have, and with their age as well, they could really command a lot of money in the summer, and let's see what happens. Ideally, I would look to cash in. I think that you could get some decent money for both players, and we could really reinvest that back into the team. We need some more technique. I'm looking at guys like Ricardo Pereira. You know, he's really grown into the Premier League, but look how he plays. I mean, he's like this generation's Dani Alves in that sense. He can play all across the right hand side. He can keep the ball, beat a man, play in dangerous balls, and he has that goal threat as well. That's the type of player we have to start looking into to really adapt and accept this new style of football. But anyway, you guys, really disappointing game today. Leave your thoughts and opinions below in the comment section. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line CV. Don't forget to watch my Pulisic video that I did release earlier. I'll see you guys tomorrow.